Okay, hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're doing What If Deku Had the Red Thread of Fate, Part 6? Yeah, last time I was interrupted by my family, some stuff that's happened there, and I want to be quiet, so here we go. If I'll go to a part where I want to change a bit. Right when Zuko pretty much is taking a Sane out, he was knocked out completely, and everybody's pretty tired. And so he's getting out of the alley, and he he didn't have his quirk on, so Gran Torino pretty much hit him on the side, asking him, "Why were you out here and not staying at the train?" Like I said, Zuko pretty much explained that his friend was in a bit of trouble, and he was pulling a stain out. And at this point, some pro heroes, low rankings but pros, are surprised that a few kids actually took out a stain. And at this point, he's getting scolded by Gran Torino. At this point, as well, the Nomu that with wings came in and caught Deku up, and he's flying away. At this point, no one really can do this. Todoroki is trying to use his ice, but it's too far, and everybody else is trying to get it. Even and Endeavor is going to try to climb up, but they see that at the point Zuko actually used a thread gel and caught the Nomu up there, and he just climbed around it and stabbed the. He didn't really have anything on him, so he actually grabbed the brain himself with his hand and crushed it, and pretty much killing the Nomu, and they fall straight down. Some of the pro heroes are surprised that a kid can take down the Nomu by himself, and while he was in danger. A few times passed by. Stan got captured, actually taken to the police, and now they're in the hospital. Todoroki's in there. He's pretty much tired. He didn't really get hurt. He's just really tired and some scratches. Ida is there, and he kind of woke up, and Deku's right there next to them both, and between them. And Ida kind of looks around and asks and sees Deku, and Deku said, "Well, he pretty much hit him, kind of slapped him actually, and telling Ida, you know, if I wasn't there, and if I didn't even see your personality shift, you would have been dead." And Ida said, "But were you able to see what? Can you tell?" And Ida can't really ask because he doesn't know what to ask for, a question of. Zuko said, "Okay, here," and he turned on his quirk, and it shows. Todoroki can see it, and this is going to be the area effect. They already got the scolding from the police, and they leave. So I'm skipping over it because nothing important happened there. It's the same thing as always. Sorry, heartburn. Okay, so Zuko pretty much did his area effect, and only for Todoroki and Ida can see, and himself. Zuko tells them to look at him, and then look at themselves. They do, and they see threads around them. Zuko had said this before. Yeah, charger is too hot. Sorry, I need to adjust. Okay, where was I? And he pretty much tell him some more details, and Zuko pretty much grab on Ida's string. He's just grabbing on it, and Deku said, "And this is why I can, on one of my abilities, I can see your past, I can see your future." And Ida kind of nodding, and Zuko said, "As right now, when I touch your threads, and no one else's, like that's really close to you, like wrap around." And Todoroki is looking at this because he's want to know how he does it. And Zuko said, "And if I point in a reverse way, well, he just think of it, and he pretty much thinks about it, going to the past." And Zuko said, "And I can see you in your family's hero agency and talking to your brother about how he's so strong and his how he's so great. And so he's telling Ida what he sees in and pretty much it's like a backstory, but Ida is now hearing it from Zuko, like he was there throughout the whole time. And then Zuko pretty much turned it and said, "Now in the future, for me, mm, okay, I'm going to say something to you two because I trust you guys. I trust you, Toroki, more, and yeah, I trust you just for this time. Do I have your trust that you will not speak on how far I can see the future?" And they said, um, they think about it. And Toroki said, "Yes, I will not tell so." Because he's really interested, but he's also doesn't really tell anybody's secrets. It's not his secrets to tell, so he doesn't tell. He doesn't even talk to anybody, so he's good with that. And he's waiting for Ida. And you, Ida? And Ida kind of looks and see. But can you? Yes, I promise not to tell so. And Zuko said, "Okay, much better." So Deku said, "Well, there's two things. The first one, I can see up to 10 years in the future." And Zuko's just waiting there patiently because those two are really shocked that he can see that far in the future, and they're asking more questions. Zuko's like standing there, not answering any of them. And Zuko said, "And another one is much worse. My threads, they are connected to your soulmate." They nod, okay. "But there's also another thing. Like for you, Ira, your thread turned black, which means if you chose a path to going to die, the spot, and that very thread, instead of going to a person, it went to the very area, spot, time, and I'll see everything about it." And Zuko pretty much pulled out a paper. Well, he pulled out his phone. He took a picture of the paper, and it showed him the time, date, and area. Time, because some of your phones can actually say time, area, where you got the picture, under the info. And Zuko said, "See, this was taken a picture at the very beginning when we were doing our hero names." And Zuko scrolled down and showed Ida the time, the day, the area, the street's name. And Ida was kind of shocked. And Zuko said, "See, I can see you were actually were supposed to die there. But the one thing I do not want to see is my classmates to die at a young age with a stupid mistake of revenge." And Ida's like sitting there thinking about everything, and Zuko see, and he still have his thread on, quirk on, and Toroki said, hold on, one of your threads are disappearing." And Zuko said, "It's fine." And Ida's looking at this, and it see one of his threads that's around him is disappearing, and Ida is asking, "What's going on?" And Zuko said, "Well, you have one more thread, and then, but really, your threads are not permanent. You're supposed to have like one wrap around you, and that's like your perfect that's a perfect person. One wrap around you, and then straight to your soulmate. But no one's perfect, as you can see. Mine, his, everybody's." And Deku said, "So when you change your personality and mode, because everybody change, not quickly, but they change. One little decision will change everything. So what you thought of is never going for revenge and actually become a pro hero to save people, that very thread disappeared, and you became a new person. So after a day passed, Zuko went back, and Todoroki went back to his agency and started training. And Ida pretty much got stay there for the rest of his internship. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Everybody's the same thing. Zuko kind of like got so bored at the end of the. So it's end of the internship. Everybody's coming back from it, and now they're in the classroom talking about it. And Zuko's right there with Suyu, and she's talking about how what she did and taking down some villains, and they're surprised. And Zuko said, "Ah, that's great. So was it the um?" And he said some smaller details that Suyu have not said at all, and she's asking, "How did you know about that?" And Zuko said, "Oh, I saw how you're going to be. That's why I wasn't worried about any of it. That's how I knew you guys will be okay. But you, Manila." And Manila said, yeah, because he went through Mount Lei. And Zook said, "So do you decide not to go after just a pretty face?" And some of them said, "What?" And Zuko said, "Well, do you want to tell them or should I?" With an evil grin of it. And Manila said, "No, don't tell them. I won't. Don't." Zuko said, "Okay. Well, as you all know, Mount Lady is pretty popular, and her fans, even the girls, none." Zuko said, "But when she's by herself, she's nothing of the sorts." And they said, "How can you?" And Zuko pretty much tell them that he can see. Well, he only tell Suyu because he trusts her the most, his soulmate. But let's get past this. Yeah. So All Might comes in and tell everybody to get out. We're gonna do a certain race. And it's the same thing in canon. Zuko get ready, everybody else get ready, and see how Zuko's gonna do it. And so Zuko actually charge up one for all, full counting, up to 10%, and ready, set, go. And 3 seconds passed. Zuko flew around, jumped around, using the string, slingshot himself, flying past Sero, yeah, flying past him and going all the way to All Might. And All Might said, "Whoa, young man, you are gone faster since last time we met." Zuko said, "Oh, thanks, All Might. Gran Torino really helped. I don't get why you were so afraid of him. He's great. He's great." And All Might kind of scared now that that either Gran Torino went easy on him or that Deku is actually a beast. That his training is way worse than Gran Torino's, which terrified him just a bit. So they're giving a round on. It's still on Monday. So everybody pretty much went back to class, and Aizawa pretty much tell them that we're going to have a written and a physical test on your heroeships, internships. Since you guys have learned some stuff, and you're going to have a written test and a physical test. And he went off. So everybody's freaking out at this point, and Zuko pretty much tell everybody. And how about we do a group study, a study group, and they agree, and Zuko pretty much asked the three that are really failing, and say, "So you guys are you going to be serious or something? And they said, what? And Zuko said, you are the three worst. Yeah. And they said, well, how about Manila? He's also. And Manila said, nope. I'm. And he showed how high his scores are. And they're pretty shocked that you're supposed to be one of us. One of us. And that little scene happened. Mm. So, really, they decide to do this. Uh, 10 of them pretty much did their own group, and the other 10 did their own group and started studying on their weak points and then studying a bit on their strong points. I'm not gonna get into it because I really don't like this part at all. Uh, don't think Suyu. Yeah, Suyu had already met his parents. So on Friday, no, on Thursday, yeah, everybody pretty much went off and do their own studying. And Suyu asked if Deku if he would like to study in her house. Deku said, yeah, sure. What's the subject you want to study on? And she said, just the math and English, or Japanese for them. And Zuko said, okay, I'll bring the books. What time you want me to come? And she just said, I'll text you. And Zuko said, oh, okay. So she texted him exactly what time. Zuko said, oh, right. Because this after class is over, school is over. Zuko went up to Suyu's door and knocked. He breathed in and breathed out and then knocked on the door. And Suyu actually opened the door and said, hey, Suyu, Asui. And so I brought the books and he walks in, see how small the house is, but he doesn't mind. He understands a bit of stuff, some stuff. And they are actually studying. But at this point, a few minutes has in, and Suyu actually had a problem with one question, and Deku actually got up. They were right facing each other, but Zuko got up and now sitting right next to Suyu, getting close to her inch by inch, and solved the problem. Zuko is not paying attention. Suyu is blushing. She noticed that how close Zuko is, and she's thinking in her head that he smells so nice. And her heart is beating a little bit fast. And Zuko solved the problem, showed it to Suyu how it worked, and he actually stepped back and said, oh, Suyu. And she said, yes? He said, where's your parents? Are they home or... Because I haven't heard anything. And so he said, oh, my parents are out having a dinner with the rest of my family. And Zuko said, oh, if I interrupt them something, you should have told me. We could have gone another time. So he said, no, it's okay. I mean, yeah, but I wanted you to help me with my work. And she kind of like say in her head and something else. And Zuko said, oh, okay. Let's go to the next subject. I think we covered everything we needed to. So they do, and this one is science. So Zuko is actually having a problem with this. Now Soyu is doing the same thing that Deku do, and Deku is doing the same thing, is getting flustered, heart beating fast, and he kind of, but it went so fast he actually kind of fainted and leaned. Well, actually falling. He was kneeling down. He was on his knees sitting down, and he just fell on his left. And Suyu was on his right, and she saw him falling, and she kind of sees this and doesn't know what to do. So she checked his pulse and checked his head and see if he had a fever. He didn't have a fever, but she was nervous, so she actually picked him up and put him down on her bed. As soon as she was about to walk away, Izuku got up and said, what did I miss?" And so he said, "Oh, you passed out. I guess you were working too hard." And Zuko was like, holding his head, saying, "I guess I did." And at this point, Suyu still had water in her room. Since she's a frog, she needs moisture in her room. So she actually passed the water to Izuku, and he started drinking it, staying on her bed. And Suyu actually sat on her bed as well. As she sat down, Izuku was pretty heavy on her bed. So she actually slid closer to Zuko. And Zuko said, he kind of choked on his water and coughing. And Suyu saying, "Are you okay?" And Zuko said, "Sorry, I just choked on some water. I'm sorry about that." And so she's like looking at him and checking. And they're really close to each other. So the next day, I'm just kidding, but really, Zuko sees this as Suyu is actually heartbeat is so fast. She decided to close her eyes and just look at. She was looking at Deku. Great. She was looking at Deku and then she just closed her eyes. And Deku knows this way too much. And so he just pretty much got closer, grabbed her face, and gave her a kiss. And they hear a doorbell ring. So they got shocked and started moving around, sitting back where they were sitting back. And her brother, her youngest brother, her brother actually opened the door and said, "Suyu, we're home. Did you make any goodies for us as we were?" And she said, well, he looks and said, "And who are you?" And so he was gonna say, "Oh, and this is my friend I was talking about." And Zuko actually had a chance to meet the Suyu parents and her. What the hell? Dang it! What the heck was that? Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I just needed something happened to my chest and it hurt. But I'll just skip this. Nothing really happened. Zuko just had that awkward interaction and had a chance to meet her parents. So it's pretty much the same thing that she was acting when she met uh, Zuko's mother. So yeah, so the next day comes by, and as Zuko came in the beginning of class and see Suyu, she kind of turned around and turned her face, turning red, because she remembers that little kiss, and she was hoping for more, but it didn't happen because her parents came in a little early. And so Zuko kind of smiles and went back to his seat. So the rest of the class went on to its normal things. So on Friday, let's move back. No, I'll just stay on Friday. So on lunch, they're still worried about their test because it's end of their period, their last period to do it, and their test. So they're still figuring out and wondering what they're. I'm doing this way because I think it's better. And they're in the lunch cafeteria wondering what's the physical gonna be. And so, what's her name? Kendo? Yeah, Kendo. She came by and said, "Oh, a few of my friends that are upperclassmen said their theirs were last year were uh, robots, and so most of the classes, pretty much everybody are released that's going to be only robots, the 3 pointers or the 0 pointers. So they got false hope, and Zuko pretty much was leaving to throw away his trash, his food, and Ibara finally remembered her name, came by and asked Zuko, "So who is it?" And Zuko said, "Oh, after our test, he'll be ready." And I guess I'll give you guys, I'll set you up of sorts. And she said, "Oh, really? Uh, when am I supposed to expect the date?" And Zuko said, "Well," and he looks at his table and seeing three guys and two girls are sitting there. And he said, "Well, let me check." So he turns on his quirk and look and see, yeah. And he looks at her and said, about 2 or 3 more days. Well, 4 more days. It's going to be on a Wednesday. If you're open on Wednesday." And she said, "Yes, I'm open on Wednesday. Next Wednesday." And Zuko said, "Okay. Don't be surprised. He's... I won't tell you." And he pretty much leaves. She's standing there looking at the guys, and the three guys he was looking at as either Ida, Todoroki, or Kaminari. If you guys probably can tell who she's going to be shipped with, if you guys can't tell, then I think you're not cultured enough. Anyway, let's get back to the story. So, it's the end of their last class. They already did their test, and most of them feel good that most of them have passed. So everybody was taken to their area, and they're kind of wondering why so many teachers are right in front of us, even the principal. And the principal said, "Well, last year, in the past, we would have given you guys robots to fight against, but this year, since we had so many villain encounters," and they said nodding, all of them are nodding, and even the teachers, Nezu said, "Now we're going to have a few difference, a little bit of difference. You're not going to be fighting robots. You'll be fighting and the teachers." So everybody's nervous, but Zuko's not really that nervous. And then, as Nezu's saying, the pairings. Everybody's still saying pairings. And the last two are wondering who are they going to be fighting. Bakugo, Deku, Bakugo, Midoriya, you'll be fighting. And he was about to say something, but All Might came down, crushing down right in front of them, said, "You'll be fighting me." So they're giving the explanation, and everybody, all the teachers will be holding weights. All Might will be holding 2 tons weights on each of his arms. And everybody's pretty shocked at this point. Scared, but shocked. So everybody get to see how everybody's going to be behaving on their stuff. When it came up to Todoroki and Momo's match, sorry, and Todoroki and Momo's match, Zuko is seeing this, how close they gotten, and that little instant where Todoroki accidentally touches her marshmallows, and because I think she made some marshmallows and ate during the yeah, I would say marshmallows. And he was, and Zuko kind of smiles, well, kind of chuckling at this point and saying, uh, I don't even have to interfere in this one. And Suyu was right next to her, next to him, because why not? And Uraraka is actually close to him as well. And she asked, what do you mean? And Zuko said, well, those two are meant to be together. And they're all like, what? But, and Zuko said, but I did not do anything to them. They are going to, this is one of the few that, and the girls are hoping on how long until their soulmates will come up. Mina is actually still talking with about Mina is still talking to Kirishima about their last date and how it went, and also their insertions. So they're not paying attention at this. Jiro's still looking, thinking who's going to be. Invisible girl is actually talking with the tail guy. Sorry, don't know their names. Hakakure and I don't know the guy's name. Sorry. And they're talking a bit. She overheard that it's Momo and Todoroki are supposed to be to get a couple, but they could interrupt and say, and to not ruin it, I hope all of you, especially you, Manila, not to say anything. And since the special certain stuff. She needed, and the fight actually ended when they capture Eraserhead. Sorry, forgot his name. And Zuko sees Momo's thread disappearing. The problem was Todoroki was all good. He went finally passed by on his father's issue and his fire issue. And Zuko couldn't really do anything with Momo's because it's something that the Todoroki needed to do. Because it was some kind of his problem, probably. Don't remember. So the next one, this is out of order, so everybody's gonna pass. Because Zuko gave them a little bit of pointers. Because he doesn't want any of them missing out on their field trip. So he pretty much gave the losing party to think outside the box. And how you usually fight, do better. Like to Sugarman and Kirishima, how about you guys go higher? And they think, higher. At first, Sugarman said, oh, you like eat more sugar. And Zuko said, no. And he points up and said, I said higher. So they understood that they had to go on top of the buildings and went after it, since it will be easier that way. What was the other one? Manila and Thuro. Deku said, Thuro, just don't focus on her. And Zero understands that way too much. What were the other two? Mina and Kaminari. I believe that those two. Yeah. So Izuku pretty much tells them, you are basically the mouse in a rat trap. So think outside the box. Instead of following the direction, break the box. And Mina understood this, and Kaminari asked him about his. Zuko said, break his toy. And he went off. I think those are the three groups that failed. Everybody else, passed. So the next fighting is Tsuyu and Tokoyami versus Shadow Clone, the Shadow Clone guy. Forgot Smoke or no, but him. And Zuko kind of like It's they're at the point where Suyu was actually she ate the handcuffs, and Zuko kind of sees this and said, "Oh no." Um, and he pretty much looked at All Might. Which button is it? He pretty much knows which one, and he pressed one button, and he sees and he pressed it right when Suyu forced it out of her mouth, out of her stomach. As a frog, they can remove their insides to clean clean. I remember in that she can do that. And Zuko does not want anybody to see this because he knows it's very embarrassing for her. So Zuko pretty much turned off the screen for that very point, waited a few seconds, and then turned it back on. And the match was over. Suyu was kind of embarrassed, still embarrassed of walking in, passing through the gate, and she kind of looks, and they're coming through the doors in the area where they see the monitors, and all the girls and guys are asking, "What happened? What happened?" And they said, and Tokoyami basically said, "Oh, Suyu pretty much got the handcuffs and she ate it and then puked it up, and she pretty much gave it to Dark Shadow, and he handcuffed him, the villain." They said, "Oh," and Suyu and Tokoyami, because Suyu is still a little bit blushing, very embarrassed because of that. And he said, "Why? Didn't you see on the screen?" They said, "No, Deku for some reason turned it off for that moment." And Suyu looked at Deku said, and she asked, "Oh, what did you turn off?" And Zuko said, "Well, I already knew you guys were going to win, but I knew it was one part that was really embarrassing for you. So I, as a good boyfriend should be, protected you on that part. So only the villain, Tokoyami, and technically me, saw what you did. So you don't have to be embarrassed. No one saw you what you did." And she kind of sigh in relief, knowing that Zuko actually saved her from that embarrassment. Because I can imagine people being embarrassed for a lot of stuff. So I think that would be, and it showed on the anime in the canon. It showed that she said it was embarrassing for her to do it. She even asked Tokoyami to close his eyes in canon. So Tokoyami knows what it did, but he didn't see it. And so the next match is up. Suyu pretty much gave him a kiss for good luck, and Zuko kind of hug her, and said, "No worries, we got this in the bag." So they went off, and Bakugo. Sorry, I thought someone was here. So Bakugo and Deku are getting ready. It's going to happen in same in canon, but they're going to be not acting. It's more like Zuko pretty much told him afterwards to act like you really hate me and actually punch me so hard to fly to an alley. And everybody sees this. Why is Bakugo going so hard on him? They should be a team to fight the All Might. But All Might doesn't know of this, and he did his smash to show him how strong he really is. Sorry. And Zuko's idea was he told Bakugo his idea. So Bakugo agreed and did it. And so he wanted to fight All Might by himself to see how strong he really is. So All Might is fighting Bakugo easily, overpowering him so much, and Bakugo knows why Deku asked him to leave. So Deku is not actually running. He make it look like he was running, and Zuko was climbing up in the sky as high as he can, and pull himself back and start use 5% of one full counting, and pretty much made it look like he's going straight towards the exit. And All Might see this and pretty much threw Bakugo away to a certain direction. He pretty much did a complete smash to the right, hitting a certain he went through a building and pretty much got stuck, to All Might's knowledge. And All Might pretty much flew. No, he didn't fly. He ran straight towards Zuko and gave him a 10%, gave him a smash. And as he threw his punch, he see that he didn't feel like anybody got hit. And Zuko pretty much grabbed one of his threads at that moment to stop himself immediately, because he knew what was going to happen, and then avoid that very punch. And he made it slant. He's pretty much making them rubber. So whatever force he uses is double now, and he's flying backwards, fast, really, all the way back to where All Might was standing, and Bakugo was actually fighting at. And Bakugo pretty much got up, pretty much holding his shoulder and looking where Deku is, and he screamed out, "Deku, where are you?" And Deku pretty much grabbed well, Deku pretty much gave Bakugo a watch with a certain time to ring, and he told him afterwards to raise your hand up, your good hand, as high as you can when it rang. And Bakugo pretty much put it on and said, "Fine, I don't understand, but okay." Back in the fight, Zuko is flying, getting closer and closer to the very area. Bakugo is right there, looking around. He sees nothing, but he hears the buzzer sound. And he pretty much raised his left hand up and just holding it up. And he's wondering why, and he's looking around. And he looks and see All Might is coming after him. And he felt something joke on his hand. He's flying back, like where their entrance were. And Zuko said, "Okay, Bakugo, get ready." And Bakugo said, "All right." Because Zuko's plan was this: he's gonna use every force needs an opposite force to go back. So Zuko's idea was first push himself as fast as he can, going down, using gravity at first, double that speed when he slingshot himself to the area, and now Zuko is pulling back right at the entrance, almost like exiting that area, and said, "All right, Bakugo, start using your explosions. We need this." And he slingshot 3 times the speed. He's actually he basically broke the sound barrier, and everybody heard the boom of the sound barrier breaking. Few glass windows that was in the main highway pretty much broke at this sound. All Might see this and getting ready for ultimate smash. And Zuko said, "Ready now!" And Bakugo pretty much start blasting downward, not behind them, but downward. And it moved him just enough where All Might glaze a few millimeters, right by Bakugo's face, because Bakugo was hanging. He didn't want to hug Deku, so he chose to do that, and it was kind of hard. And he, with the force of the wind, actually hit Bakugo, and Zuko felt that, but he told Bakugo to now force it on the back, start using explosion in the back. So he does, and Zuko said, "Okay, we're almost there," and clips of it showing up. both of Zuko and Deku. Zuko and Bakugo are feet away from it and fell on a floor and started rolling and rolling. Bakugo passed exit and Hero Team win. And All Might is pretty shocked at this. He was really close. He was right when Bakugo passed the exit. Uh, All Might pretty much grabbed onto Deku's foot, and Deku pretty much knew what this happened, and he loosened up one of his shoes, and he kind of like started fumbling around. And All Might thought he had him and started like swinging him around to make it, because he's so strong he can't tell he's holding nothing or anything. So he's swinging around and throwing it away. But he sees a shoe, and so he looks around back at the exit and sees Deku crawl, pretty much crawling to the exit, and he passed the exit, giving both Bakugo and Deku the win. All Might is pretty shocked at this. The class are pretty shocked at this. Nezu is wanting to ask so much questions. Suyu is wanting to ask so much questions, but they see Zuko pass out at this point, and Bakugo as well, because it took out a lot of him. Zuko had to look inside, look in the future, and plan for each one, which would take a lot of energy. So All Might kind of like smiling, looking at them both, and took them both at Recovery Girl. So Zuko, when he wakes up, he pretty much explained what he did, is telling them that he saw the future, so he timed it exactly how it was gonna go, and change it for his benefit. So technically, Zuko used the future against them. That's something that no one can do, but one person. So let's go to. Since it was Friday, everybody pretty much finished. It was their last match. Zuko and Bakugo finally got healed up and waking up. And Bakugo looks around and asks if they would win or not, because he passed out when he started rolling, and he didn't know he finished first. And Zuko said, "Oh, yeah, actually you were the first one to pass exit. I can't believe you finished it way sooner than me. I was planning to do that." Basically, lying to give him a more boost, because he knows that Bakugo has that complex on becoming the best, and just giving him that just for the bit, because he knows he's gonna need it for sooner or later. And Zuko said, "But anyway, we won," and he just hold out his arm, showing a fist bump, and they did it. Afterwards, everybody pretty much leaving. Sorry, phone is overheated. Okay. So, yeah. I'll ask someone if they want to see it. I want this very video. If I should do the movie next. If you guys don't comment anything, then I'm not gonna do the movie, and I'll just skip right to the campsite. But anyway, this is not the end of the video. Well, technically it is, but I'm gonna leave it at this part. So on the next week, on Wednesday, on Monday, Zuko asked Ida if he's free on Wednesday, and Ida said, "Yeah, I'm free. Why?" And Zuko said, "Well, do you mind if I set you up with someone?" And Ida said, I mean, I don't mind, but I'm worried if the person you're setting up with me doesn't know." And Zuko said, "It's all right. Just be yourself, because I want to take you to a nice area, but seeing how she is now, He looks and they look at her ahead of schedule. Zuko pretty much tell her to act shy, act because Ida can't really tell anything. He can't see anything because of in canon. So Zuko asked her to act shy, and Zuko said, "See," and Zuko said, "Well, I want to do a double date. I know a girl from class 1B, and I'm gonna like set her up with you, and see how things go." And Ida said, "Sure, but I mean, this seems like irresponsible. I mean, I better know her." And Zuko said, "That's perfect. Most relationships are best suited when you don't know anything about each other. Just ask her like you're gonna be like friends. Best relationships start as friends." And Ida said, okay, I've never done this before, but and just act like a friend. Yeah, and he said, yeah, like how you act, you talk to Momo Yazaruzu, or like Uraraka, and talk to her like you talk to them. And Ida said, okay. So Zuko said, okay, it's gonna be on Wednesday. Are you good? Are you free on Wednesday? And Ida said yes, because Zuko already saw the future. He just needed to be polite. And he said, okay, like that. One moment. Okay. And said, all right, at this plot, this time, that day, after school, like usual, and dress like you're going to hang out with the guys. And he understood this because he only hang out with the guys and usually just wear a nice shirt, some jeans, shoes. His engine's not showing. So, and he pretty much walked away. End of this, end of that day on Monday, Suyu asked Zuko what's going on, and Zuko said, "Oh, call that girl." And she said, "Oh, this soon already?" Zuko said, "Yeah." Uh, and tell her on Wednesday at the time and spot. And she said, "Okay." And anything else? And Zuko said, "Oh yeah. Have her tell her parents that she's gonna meet up with some friends." She said. Suyu said, "Huh?" Oh, Baku and Deku said, "Well, her parents are really protective. So say she's gonna hang up with a pro hero's brother." And Tsuyu said, oh, okay. Because for this, Tsuyu doesn't know that Ida is gonna be shipped with her. Yep, Ida. So either Ida, um, I just forgot, or Ida, Tsuyu, and the girl Ibara, finally got her, doesn't know who is going with who. Suyu knows she's going with Deku and the girl, but she doesn't know who the guy is. The girl doesn't know who the guy is, and Ida doesn't know that who the girl is. So, right at the and I'm going to end it at this point. I need to think of the date part and then the rest. But this is going to be happening right where all the rest of the class 1A students are going to be going to the mall on Wednesday. I believe that's what they did, but I'll just do it like that. So on Wednesday, the classroom are going to the mall, and the four are going on a date. So I'll end it at this point. Sorry for the last one, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Bye.